Let me start with something uncomfortable. Most people watching this will never become who they know they could be. Not because they're lazy, not because they're stupid, not because they lack potential, but because they quit on themselves long before life ever gets a chance to reward them. And the worst part, most of them don't even realize that's what they're doing. They call it being realistic. They call it timing. They call it waiting for the right moment. But deep down they know. They felt it the moment they stopped showing up. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been excited about a goal, really excited, and then slowly watched that excitement fade? Not all at once, quietly, day by day. You didn't fail publicly. You didn't crash and burn. You just stopped. Stopped going to the gym. Stopped working on the idea. Stopped believing this time would be different. And no one noticed. Except you. That moment right there, that's the moment most people's lives get smaller. Because every time you walk away from something you said mattered, you teach yourself a lesson. And the lesson is dangerous. The lesson is, I don't have to keep my word to myself. That lesson doesn't just stay in one area of life. It spreads. It leaks into your confidence, your energy, your relationships, your standards. Until one day you wake up and wonder, why do you feel stuck? Why do you feel behind? Why do you feel like you're capable of more but can't seem to access it? Here's the truth no one tells you. People don't fail because they aim too high. They fail because they stop trusting themselves. And once self-trust is gone, everything becomes harder. Decision-making, discipline. Because why would you believe in someone who keeps breaking promises? Now listen carefully. If you've ever felt like starting is easy but finishing feels impossible, if you've ever felt motivated one day and empty the next, if you've ever wondered what's wrong with me, there is nothing wrong with you. You are not broken. You are trained. Trained by habits you didn't choose. Conditioned by patterns you never questioned. And today, we're going to expose the number one reason most people never follow through. Not surface level reasons. Not motivational poster nonsense. The real reason. The one operating underneath your behavior. And more importantly, I'm going to show you how to break that pattern starting today. Because the moment you see it clearly, it loses its power. And when that happens, everything changes. You don't need more motivation. You need a new relationship with discomfort. Because what I'm about to say might hit a nerve, but it might also set you free. The lie about failure. We've been taught a lie, a dangerous one. We're told that successful people are more motivated, that they have more discipline, more willpower, more confidence. And if you don't succeed, it must mean you don't want it badly enough. That's a lie, because motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the weather. If motivation were enough, no one would be overweight. No one would be broke. No one would stay stuck. Motivation doesn't fail people. Misunderstanding how change actually works does. Here's what most people do. They wait until they feel ready. They wait until they feel confident. They wait until fear goes away. And while they wait, life moves on. Other people move forward. Opportunities pass quietly, not because they weren't capable, but because they misunderstood one thing. Your behavior does not follow your goals. Your behavior follows your identity. Read that again in your mind. You don't act based on what you want. You act based on who you believe you are. If deep down you see yourself as someone who quits, who starts strong and fades out, who needs things to feel good to keep going, then no goal will save you. Because the moment it gets uncomfortable, your identity will pull you back to familiar ground. This is why New Year's resolutions fail. This is why people self-sabotage right before success. This is why smart, talented people stay stuck. Not because they can't do it, but because succeeding would require them to become someone unfamiliar. And the brain hates the unfamiliar. The brain doesn't care about your dreams. It cares about safety. And here's the twist most people never see. Your brain defines safe as what's familiar. Even if what's familiar is painful, even if what's familiar is failure. So when you push yourself, when you stay consistent, when you stretch beyond your comfort zone, your brain sounds the alarm. Stop. This is dangerous. Go back. That feeling you call laziness? That's not laziness. That feeling you call lack of discipline? That's not weakness. That's conditioning. And once you understand that, you stop blaming yourself. But you also stop making excuses. Because conditioning can be changed. But only if you're willing to tell the truth. Here's the truth most people avoid. They don't quit because it's hard. They quit because quitting feels relieving. Let that sink in. Stopping removes pressure. Stopping removes discomfort. Stopping restores familiarity. And every time you stop, your nervous system learns something. It learns that quitting equals relief. And continuing equals pain. So what happens next time you start something? Your body remembers. Before your mind even speaks, your system whispers, don't get too invested. Don't push too hard. Don't try again. And just like that, you're fighting yourself. You are not afraid of failure. You are afraid of staying uncomfortable long enough to win. Think about it. Most people don't fail dramatically. They fail quietly. They lower standards. They delay decisions. They negotiate with themselves. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll restart next week. I just need a break. And the scariest part, that pattern feels normal. Until one day you realize you've been preparing your whole life to quit early. That's the lie. The lie is that failure is an event. Failure isn't an event, it's a habit. A habit is built one decision at a time. And habits don't change with inspiration. They change with awareness and repetition. That's why this matters. Because once you see the pattern, you can interrupt it. And once you interrupt it consistently, you become dangerous. Dangerous to your old limits, dangerous to your old excuses, dangerous to the version of you that settles. And in the next part, we're going deeper. We're going to expose the number one reason people fail at the nervous system level. Not mindset, not motivation, conditioning. And once you understand that, you'll stop fighting yourself and start training yourself. Stay with me. Because this is where everything begins to shift. Why smart, talented people still lose. Let's clear something up right now. Failure is not a lack of intelligence. Some of the smartest people in the world are living lives far below their potential. They read the books, they understand the strategies, they see what needs to be done, and still they don't do it. Or worse, they start, they show flashes of brilliance, they get close, then they disappear, not because they're incapable, but because intelligence creates a new problem. Smart people think their way out of discomfort. They rationalize, they analyze, they explain. They don't quit emotionally, they quit logically. They say things like, "This isn't the right time. I need to learn more first. I'll do it when I'm more prepared." Sounds reasonable, feels responsible. But here's what's really happening. Their intelligence is protecting them from emotional exposure, because trying fully means risking fully. And risking fully means one thing: judgment. From others, from family, from friends, from themselves. So instead of failing loudly, they fail quietly. They stay almost ready. They stay potential-filled. They stay safe. And safety is seductive, because safety never demands proof. Let me say that again. Safety never asks you to show what you're really capable of. As long as you haven't fully tried, you can still believe you would have succeeded. That illusion is comforting and deadly, because it keeps you stuck in preparation mode. Here's a hard truth. Most people aren't afraid they'll fail. They're afraid they'll try their hardest and still fall short. Because if that happens, there's nowhere left to hide. No excuses. No what-ifs. No imaginary future where everything works out. Just reality. And reality forces a decision. Change or accept less. So the mind steps in. It creates stories, justifications, delays, and suddenly weeks turn into months. Months turn into years. And one day you look back and realize you didn't lose because you weren't capable. You lost because you avoided discomfort better than anyone. Comfort is not your friend. Comfort is the silent killer of potential. Think about this. Every meaningful upgrade in life comes with discomfort attached. Everyone. Growth feels awkward, progress feels uncertain, consistency feels boring, so if your system is trained to avoid discomfort, it doesn't matter how talented you are. Talent without tolerance for discomfort goes nowhere. This is why people self-sabotage right before breakthroughs. They start getting attention, momentum builds, expectations rise, and suddenly they pull back, miss a workout, skip a deadline, lower the standard, not consciously, automatically, because success introduces a new threat, responsibility. If you succeed, you can't pretend anymore. You can't play small safely. You have to show up as that version of yourself every day, and that's terrifying to an untrained nervous system. The invisible emotional trap. Now listen closely. This is where most people miss it. The real enemy isn't fear. Fear is obvious. You feel fear. You recognize fear. The real enemy is relief. Relief after quitting. Relief after avoiding. Relief after saying, "I'll do it tomorrow." That relief is dangerous because your nervous system learns through emotion, not logic. Every time you stop doing something hard and feel relief, your body locks in a lesson. Stopping equals safety. Continuing equals threat. So the next time you face resistance, your system doesn't ask what's best. It asks what's familiar. And familiar wins. This is why willpower doesn't work. You can't fight conditioning with logic alone. You don't rise to the level of intention. You fall to the level of training. And most people have trained themselves to escape pressure. They scroll, they snack, they distract, they delay. Not because they're weak, but because it works, short-term. And short-term relief creates long-term regret. That regret doesn't show up immediately. It shows up slowly, as self-doubt, as lowered expectations, as a quiet resentment. Until one day you feel disconnected from your own potential, and you don't know why. That's the emotional cost of avoidance, not failure. Avoidance. Failure teaches lessons. Avoidance teaches nothing. except for how to run. The pain you avoid today becomes the prison you live in tomorrow. Now here's the part that changes everything. Discomfort itself is not the problem. The meaning you attach to discomfort is the problem. Most people interpret discomfort as a warning. This isn't for me. I'm not cut out for this. Something's wrong. But high performers interpret discomfort differently. They see it as confirmation. Confirmation they're stretching. Confirmation they're growing. Confirmation they're on the edge of change. Same sensation, different meaning. And meaning determines behavior. This is why two people can feel the same resistance. One quits. The other doubles down. It's not toughness, it's training. One trained themselves to escape, the other trained themselves to stay. And staying is a skill. But only if you stop asking the wrong question. Most people ask, how do I feel? High performers ask, what does this require? Big difference. Because feelings fluctuate, requirements don't. And the moment you stop letting feelings vote on your future, your power comes back. You don't need to feel ready, you need to feel willing. Let's bring this home. If you've ever wondered why you sabotage progress, why consistency feels heavy, why starting over feels familiar, it's not because something is wrong with you. It's because your nervous system has been trained to associate growth with danger. And the good news? Training can be changed. But not with hype, not with inspiration, with repetition, with small, deliberate acts that teaches your body a new lesson. And that's where we're going next. In part 3, you'll learn the shift that rewires everything, not mentally, physiologically. You'll learn how to stop negotiating with your emotions, how to redefine success so quitting no longer feels rewarding, and how to build an identity that doesn't collapse under pressure. This is where momentum begins. Stay with me, because the next part is where people stop nodding and start changing. The shift that changes everything. Here's the truth most people refuse to admit. Motivation is a lie. It comes and goes like the wind. Some days it lifts you. Other days it abandons you. If you rely on it, you will fail, because life doesn't wait for feelings. It doesn't care if you feel ready. It just asks one thing, will you show up? The real shift isn't emotional. It's identity. Your behavior doesn't follow your goals. It follows who you believe you are. Think about that. Your goals don't define you. Your identity does. If you believe you are someone who quits, you will quit. If you believe you are someone who perseveres, you will persevere. It's that simple. And that's powerful. Most people chase results. High performers chase identity. Ask yourself, who am I becoming in the process? Not what am I achieving? Not what am I getting? Who am I becoming? Here's the secret most people miss. Identity is built in small decisions. It's trained in repeated action. It's strengthened when you choose discomfort over ease. Every time you do the thing you fear, or the thing you don't feel like doing, your identity shifts. You become someone who can do hard things, someone who doesn't quit at the first sign of pain, someone who trusts themselves. That's the moment your nervous system begins to rewire. And once that happens, motivation becomes irrelevant. Because now, consistency is who you are. Discipline is automatic. Resistance is no longer a threat, it's a signal. Stop asking, am I motivated? Start asking, who do I need to be to get this done? And let that guide you. Let's make this practical. Discomfort is inevitable. Challenges are inevitable. Fear is inevitable. What's optional is how you respond. Do you shrink from it? Do you find relief in quitting? Or do you step into it fully and train yourself to stay the course? Because the moment you step into discomfort willingly, everything changes. Your brain stops seeing effort as a threat. Your body stops associating growth with pain. Your results start following your actions. This is not abstract. This is physiology. This is training your system to become unstoppable. And the best part? You don't need to wait. You don't need to be ready. You can start now. The 3 steps failure-proof framework. Now that we've shifted your mindset, let's make it actionable. I'm giving you a framework that stops failure before it even starts. It's simple, but it's powerful. And it works because it attacks the root cause. Step 1, shorten the time horizon. Most people fail because they think about forever. I need to stick to this for a year. I need to be perfect for the next 12 months. That's overwhelming. It triggers the nervous system to panic. Instead, focus on today. Can you show up today? Can you make this one decision right now? When you shrink the horizon, fear shrinks too. Momentum builds. Consistency becomes inevitable. Stop thinking about being perfect for the next decade. Think about being disciplined today, then tomorrow, then the next day. One step at a time, you retrain your system. Step 2, remove negotiation. Your emotions will lie to you. Your brain will beg for relief. Your body will scream, stop. The key is this: decide once and remove the debate. I will finish this project, not I'll try. I will show up at the gym, not I might. I will keep my word to myself, not maybe today, maybe tomorrow. When you remove negotiation, you remove the opportunity for quitting, because quitting is a negotiation. And once that negotiation disappears, consistency becomes automatic. Step 3, anchor pain to quitting. Here's where most people fail. They fail to associate quitting with pain. You need to reverse the reward system. Relief from quitting must feel costly. Stopping must feel heavier than continuing. Do this through visualization. Picture yourself in a year if you quit today. Picture yourself looking in the mirror, knowing you didn't finish. Feel the regret. Then compare it to the temporary discomfort of pushing forward. Which one is heavier? Your brain responds to emotion. When quitting becomes painful and consistency becomes safe, you shift your system at a deep level. Discomfort now is progress. Relief from quitting is failure. Train your brain to feel this difference. Let's put it all together. Shrink the horizon. Focus on today. Make your word absolute. Anchor pain to quitting. Make quitting emotionally costly. Do this consistently. Your identity will shift. Your nervous system will change. Your results will follow naturally. No hype, no gimmicks. Just a repeatable process that rewires your body, mind, and habits. This is your moment. The pain you feel now is nothing compared to the regret of a life half lived. Start training yourself today. Start small. Start imperfectly. Start fully. Because every action you take now is building the version of you that never quits. The identity upgrade moment. Let's take a moment. I want you to picture the person you've been. The one who starts and stops, the one who promises and forgets, the one who feels capable but never shows it. See them clearly. Now picture the person you could become. The one who finishes. The one who keeps every promise to themselves. The one who shows up even when it's uncomfortable. This is not a dream. This is not a fantasy. This is who you train yourself to be. You see, identity is not given. It's earned. It's chosen. And it's reinforced every time you act in alignment with it. Every time you push past the voice in your head that wants to quit, you become this new version of yourself. Every time you keep your word to yourself, you rebuild trust. And trust is everything. Without it, your actions are weak. Without it, your results are unstable. Without it, nothing lasts. Here's the power of this moment. You do not need permission. You do not need perfect conditions. You do not need approval from anyone. You need commitment. Commitment to who you are becoming. Commitment to showing up even when your mind screams, stop. This is the real work. The transformation isn't in the results. It's in the identity shift that allows results to follow. Say it with me. I'm the kind of person who finishes. I'm the kind of person who shows up. I'm the kind of person who never quits on myself. Feel it. Own it. Let it become you. Now let's cement it. Here's a simple exercise. Close your eyes. Think about one area of your life where you've been avoiding effort. It could be your body, your business, a relationship, a project you've been postponing. Now imagine the version of you that keeps showing up. The version that pushes even when it hurts. The version that endures even when it's uncomfortable. The version that refuses to quit no matter what. Visualize them in vivid detail. Notice their confidence. Notice their energy. Notice the satisfaction they radiate. That version is not hypothetical. That version exists the moment you choose to act as them. And here's the key. Every time you make a decision as that person, you reinforce your nervous system. Your identity starts to match your actions. Your actions stop being a struggle. Consistency becomes natural. This is the identity upgrade. This is the breakthrough. You are not who you were yesterday. You are who you decide to be today. And every action you take reinforces that. Now it's time to make it real. I'm not asking for motivation. I'm not asking for inspiration. I'm asking for commitment. Pick one thing you've been avoiding. Just one. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be complete. It just has to start today. Do it imperfectly. Do it fully. Do it with the identity of someone who finishes. Because action creates momentum. Momentum builds identity. Identity produces results. Ask yourself right now, what decision am I going to make today that proves to myself I can be the person I've been imagining? Not tomorrow, not next week. Every time you hesitate, remember this. The pain of quitting today is heavier than the discomfort of showing up. The regret of avoidance is heavier than the effort of action. The moment you make the decision to act, your nervous system begins to retrain. Your habits begin to shift. Your life begins to change. And here's the best part. You don't have to do it alone. Commit publicly if you want. Write it down. Tell someone you trust. Anchor it in accountability. Because when you pair action with identity and reinforce it daily, quitting stops being an option. Now it's the final moment. Say it out loud. I am unstoppable. I am committed. I do not quit. I show up no matter what. I finish what I start. Feel the energy of that statement. Feel it move through your body. Let it ignite your commitment. This is your turning point, your moment. Your chance to stop running from discomfort and start running toward who you were born to become. Here's your challenge. Today, pick one action that aligns with this identity. Do it. No excuses, no negotiation, no delay. Tomorrow, pick another. And the next day, pick another. Momentum compounds. Identity solidifies. Results follow naturally. You now know the one reason most people fail and how to avoid it. Now it's time to live it. Remember, you are not behind. You are not weak. You are not defined by past avoidance. You are one decision away from momentum. You are one decision away from trust in yourself. You are one decision away from becoming unstoppable. Choose to act. Choose to show up. Choose the identity of someone who finishes. And nothing will ever stop you again. Thank you for listening. And don't forget to like and subscribe.